Hi, I am Nimisha and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I will be sharing some very essential tips and tricks that completely change the way I used to paint, and hopefully they will save you from making the same mistakes that I did. I am talking about watercolor supplies here. One of the biggest beginner mistake is choosing the wrong paper. When I started, I didn't know how important paper was. I would paint on random sketchbooks, my work looked patchy and nothing blended like I wanted. But when I came across the right paper, everything worked well for me. When I discovered Canson and Art Essential, everything changed for me. These both are pocket friendly and they actually work. This is Art Essential. It is 300 GSM, 100% cotton and cold press sheet. And these are Canson Aquarelle Excel sheets. These are also 300 GSM cold press sheets. I work most of the time on these two papers only. These two are completely beginner friendly, but if you want to move to professional level, I then recommend trying Archie's watercolor paper. They have both cold press and hot press paper. I personally use them for different purposes: cold press for texture and flow, hot press for the detailed work. You really need to try both to see what feels right for your style. I'll share more about that in future videos. Now let's talk about brushes. When I started, I picked a bundle of brushes from my nearby store. I didn't know how different it would be, but my petals weren't soft. My leaves looked stiff, and that is when I researched and watched a ton of YouTube videos to know that how important a brush is. I then discovered Princeton brush and I fell in love with them. A round brush is good enough for your florals, but you don't need a bunch of them. You need only 4 of them. For a starter, I would recommend a size 2, a size 4, size 6 and size 8. All these round brushes are good enough for floral watercolor art. Now let's move on to paints. First, watercolors are available in 2 kinds. One pans and the other tubes. As a beginner, I started working with Camel and Faber Castell. They worked just fine for me. But later on I wanted to upgrade, so I bought Winsor and Newton Cotman collection. My pigments went stronger, the blending smoother, and my painting started looking more vibrant. Later, I began adding tubes of specific colors to my palette, so I had more flexibility without having to mix everything from scratch. And honestly, that's when painting became more fun. Before I wrap this up, I would like to add 2 main points to it. First, always record your work. And second, do not hesitate to share your work online. It teaches you so much and you get to know how much people love what you're doing. So here's what I have learned. You don't need 100 supplies to start your watercolor journey. All you need is a good paper, reliable brushes, and some colors that bring you joy. I hope this video was helpful and you will not make the mistakes that I did. Thank you so much for watching.